Hey guys, how's it going? I got a great video for us here today showing off one of my favorite indicators that works very well. But first, if you appreciate what I'm doing, hit that like and subscribe button and go on over to Twitter at WTrades, that's DUBYA Trades, and check us out there. Also, check me out on Patreon. The link is on the screen right now, plus you can get it in the description down below. Now with that being said, let's jump into it. Guys, this indicator here is the DMI, the Directional Movement Indicator. Now, I'm sure some of y'all have heard of ADX. This uses an ADX, but on a traditional ADX, it doesn't give you the direction. So this is a traditional ADX. You can see that it'll show us momentum, but it doesn't really show us the direction that that momentum's heading in, right? Well, the DMI does that. So what I've done to make it a lot easier for us here is I've made the ADX yellow. I've made the bull lines or the positive lines green and the bear lines or the negative lines red. And this line I have right here, that is where I like to consider a breakout at 20. A breakout on ADX is anywhere from 15 to about 35. Now keep in mind, the DMI is a lot like, so if you have the Selene Algo from the Trading Collective, it is a lot like that. So if we come over here to SPY, this is their ADX. If you have Selene, then there's no point in using the DMI because you have a great version of it right here. But if you don't have Selene, the DMI is probably your next best option, and it works very well. DMI, I use it all the time. It works great. I love it. It's one of the best indicators out there, and I'm about to show you why. So let's go ahead and get rid of the regular ADX since it pretty much means nothing to us. Like I was saying, the yellow line is ADX. We have two moving averages, or as I like to call them, the bull and the bear, right? The green or the positive. So just like on a MACD, when the green crosses over, or the bull crosses over the bear, then the direction is more positive, more bullish. So, but when the negative or the bear crosses over top, it is more bearish, or more tending to trend downward. We can pair this with the ADX, which is showing us the momentum and get direction out of it. Then we can take on how the lines are breaking. Are they really splitting across from each other? Is the ADX breaking out at a 45-degree angle while you're getting very good separation between your moving averages? So with that being paired together, I can show you how this kind of works here. And the more indicators you have pointing toward a good trade, the better, right? So if we're just looking at this breakout to the bottom here, we can see almost immediately, as soon as the bell rings, we get this. So they come back and touch together, both lines. So we did have the negative on top. They come back and touch together, and then we get this split. At the same time, we can see that we have the ADX bouncing off that 20 line, almost at a 45-degree angle, and really breaking out here and starting to bounce and show that bearish momentum coming out. So like I said, we have the negative on top, we have good separation, and we have the ADX breaking out almost immediately right off the bat. And we can see that it comes all the way down. Now here's where the ADX and everything can kind of point to reversals and stuff too. That right along this area, the ADX starts pulling back. Now usually this can mean consolidation, or at least a pullback of some sort. But if we notice our moving averages here, the negative and positive, and that cross, we've got good separation here in between them. We've already got the pullback, and the ADX pulling back. We have this cross. We see it taking off up over the 15 moving average, right? And we really don't see no cool off period until we see the ADX starting to kind of trade sideways. We start seeing the the moving averages more consolidating and not pulling back as much, so they're not separating as much. They're kind of starting to kind of want to close together. And I think of Bollinger Bands kind of tightening against. So we can see our consolidation here. And then again, the first directional movement that we see here, we get our cross. But we can see with this one, when we get our bear case of this, where it's pulling back and actually taking off, the ADX is pulling off. We're still above the 20 line, but it's kind of pulling back. So we can see that before the ADX actually breaks out again, we are already down here. But if we take the fact that the ADX is kind of pulling back, and we've got our cross and good separation there, we can kind of use that as the reversal back down. So we had a reversal here, it consolidated out, and now we can use this to tell us that there is a breakout to the downside, taking off more. So we could actually jump in this trade here. And what we can use is our moving averages along with this. So we see that the 20 is crossing back below the 50. We have the ADX above the 20. Plus we have our cross negative. So we could jump in this trade here and use our moving average as a get out point. So we can say, well, I'll get out when it crosses the 20 or the 50, whichever one, depending on your risk level. And at this point, we can also see that we have our cross back the negative and positive lines, and our ADX is actually starting to cross back under the 20. So you can see how you can use this in combination with some other indicators like your EMA lines to trade. So this is a really good indicator to play with and try, but I do recommend you pairing this with EMA lines. But this is, again, this is DMI. You can get it on Webull, you can get it on TOS, you can get it on TradingView here, of course. But I recommend playing with it. And if you have any questions, like always, you can put them in the description down below, or you can always catch me on my Discord or the Trading Collective Discord and come in and ask questions. Go and check out the DMI. If you don't have Selene Algo and you don't have access to the ADX, if you do, check out their ADX. But if you don't, check out the DMI. Guys, it is so great. I mean, the other day, that thumbnail is not just hyperbole. We really had a trade go from, I think it was $84, or sorry, 84 cents, which would be $84, to $9 and something, which would be $900. Like 1,100% trade. Guys, appreciate everything. Don't forget that like and subscribe button. Get you on the flip side.